Apakah cinta masih sama jika kau tahu ujungnya?
On Wajak Puja, Wajak Nunga Bunga, pay my respects to elders past and present, and on behalf of AIYA. I would also like to acknowledge today representatives from Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade, from JITSI, Indonesia Institute, Achichis, Murdoch University, Perth US Asia Centre, Balai Bahasa Indonesia Perth, Wilta, Papua Organisation, did I get that right? BPIR and Gadget E. I think I got that wrong again. We did practice this before. Okay, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming. And I would especially like to thank Ibu Konjen, Ibu Listiana Prananta, and all the staff here today for facilitating and hosting us this evening and for the food afterwards, which I know we are all looking forward to. A few housekeeping, toilets, back the way you entered, down the stairs and then to the right underneath the stairs. And in the unlikely event of emergency, we will congregate outside in the car park. Okay, so just a very brief overview. So Australia-Indonesia Youth Association, or AIYA, we've got chapters in Indonesia and in all states all across Australia. But you'll hear more from IC, keynote speaker, and during our panel later today, some of them final details of AIYA. So anyone can be a member. It is, you have to be on, you've got to be between 18 and 35, it's a youth association, but anyone from any background or age can be a member of AIYA. AIYA, and I've been expressly told to highlight this, AIYA is currently recruiting. We've got Secretary, Treasury and Events Officer positions up for grabs. So we've got QR codes tables over there if you're interested, or just in joining our association out of interest. So now I would like to introduce our new presidents of AIYA, Anastasia Koo. So Anastasia was appointed AIYA President in 2023 and is active within the Indonesia-Australia bilateral space through her collaboration with her university, Murdoch, local organisations and the Consulate General to promote Indonesian culture and language studies. She is currently at Murdoch University studying Asian studies and history and hopes of completing her PhD in Indonesian history. So I would now like to welcome President Anastasia to the podium.
Hello. Great. Hi everybody. I'd just like to start by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land in which we meet on, the Wajak people of the Bidai Nation, pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging, and extend that respect to any Indigenous members in the audience, as well as acknowledge that sovereignty is never ceded, and that this land always was and always will be Aboriginal land. I am so excited for the AIYA relaunch, guys! Thank you so much for being here. Thank you each and every one of you for being passionate about the Australia-Indonesia bilateral space. Stephen has gone through a list of all the organisations here, Achichis, AIYA, and every single one of you that I cannot thank enough. So I'd just like to stress, I'd like to thank Bageri for allowing us to use the space, and Gachagei for giving us the amazing food that we're about to eat later. I'd just like to stress that we can't do this without people. And people who are passionate and wanting to contribute is just so important in this space, and that's why we're recruiting. So if any one of you would like to please be part of our committee, steer this committee into whatever you believe should be the right trajectory, please apply. We are applying, as Stephen said, for Secretary, Treasurer and Events Officer. However, if you don't feel like you would fit any of those roles, please apply anyways. We can have a conversation. Potentially you might want to do something else that we didn't consider, and we would definitely love that. Thank you. Now, just a bit of a social experiment. Does everybody here have a mobile phone? Put your mobile phones up in the air for me if you've got one, please. Yep, I'm sure every single one of you's got a mobile phone. If you don't, you are a minority. Nothing wrong with that, just a minority. Keep your phones up if you've got social media. Yeah? And keep them up if you've got Instagram. Now go on your Instagram, follow AIYA. Just so you can be up to date. If you don't have Instagram, that's okay. Please sign up to a newsletter as well, so you can be part of our events and just be aware of what's going on. I'll just let you guys follow AIYA real quick because I can see a few people on your phone, so I'll give you about 10 seconds. Look, as much as that was a marketing ploy, and it was, I'm not going to lie about that, I wanted to prove how much social media and online connections have become so important in this day and age. Last year, the Australian government did a survey in which showed that the average Australian youth spends 16 hours online. 16 hours every week. That's insane. Like, I'm barely online that long. And, you know, it could be anything. It could be streaming, it could be gaming, it could be arguing in the comment section if you're a Taylor Swift fan. You know, but it's not all doom and gloom. It's not just doom scrolling. As we've seen in the pandemic, we've managed to connect with people on the other side of the world. I heard about a story when the Japanese society went to lockdown because when the pandemic was at its worst, and senior citizens were actually slowly getting worse and worse in terms of their mental health, getting depressed. Because you care about the Australian-Indonesian bilateral space. Just a little bit about myself, even though Stephen has kindly introduced me. I have come back into study as an interior student at Murdoch University in hopes of completing my PhD on Indonesian history. The biggest lie I told myself was that I was going to study and graduate as quick as possible, and here I am. So it's just so amazing what passion can do. And it's been such a wild ride. When I was first appointed as president, they asked me, look, you're involved in this organisation, you're involved with the consulate, you help Murdoch University with Indonesian language. How are you going to have the time? Are you going to have time for AIYA and some downtime? The short answer is no, I don't. And I don't really know what work-life balance is, but I like to say that I'm a little bit like a shark. Although I swear I'm not as scary as a shark, even though my husband might disagree up the back there. I feel like I'm a little bit like a shark because I feel like I can't stop moving and I like keeping busy, and I'm sure a lot of you understand that as well. And I love being able to keep busy within this Australian-Indonesian bilateral space. The Australian-Indonesian connection is so important, and there is anthropological evidence that shows that sea voyagers from Sulawesi in Indonesia has actually contacted and has relationships with the top end of Australia long before Federation, long before the First Fleet, long before our independence. And this bilateral relationship is important for both governments. You know, Indonesia has recently topped the list of Australia's, favourite tourist destination recently, wasn't it? And celebrities like Chris Hemsworth and Margot Robbie speak Indonesian, right? And that shows how important Indonesian is in Australia. And this is why AIYA, the Australian-Indonesian Youth Association, is so important. It is an integral local organisation that contributes to these bilateral connections, that contributes to cultural understanding, that contributes to interest in Indonesian language. And we might contribute to that through different events, such as maybe some sports diplomacy, like a badminton or a footy event, or trivia nights, or a movie screening, or language sessions potentially. But at the end of the day, we need to be contributing to this bilateral relationship on a local level. And I hope to do this through this connection and community. So hopefully I've connected with each and every one of you here today. If not, please come up to me, have a conversation with me. I will try my best to answer any of your questions. I apologise, I'll most likely forget your name, but I don't forget faces, so I'm sorry. But I'd like to further that connection with like-minded people like you guys. So it's my hope that with this relaunch, we can foster a heartwarming community that's passionate about contributing to the Australian-Indonesian bilateral relationship. Thank you.
Thank you, Anastasia. Thank you for explaining to us and really highlighting the importance of those grassroots relationships and that diplomacy, which really does genuinely support the bilateral relationship. Thank you very much. Terima kasih banyak. Okay, now it is my absolute pleasure to introduce Ibu Listiana Oprananta, the Consul General to Perth. So a very, very short bio. She's had a fantastic career, but I really had to compress it. She started off before serving in various capacities as secretary and counsellor, I believe, at Indonesian embassies in London and Wellington, New Zealand.
Di KJRI Perth, semoga saya bisa bicara bahasa Indonesia terus ya. Boleh nggak? Tidak usah pakai bahasa Inggris ya, karena capek. You know, as a foreign speaker, well, obviously English is my second language, my mother tongue. So I always have to rack my brain to look for those, words that is correct and appropriate. And my biggest enemy is grammar. I always think like, that's not good, that's not right, all the time. So I'm sometimes just pressure myself. So allow me to stumble a bit during my share. This is not a speech, this is a sharing thing. Allow me to stumble a bit, and I think I like to emphasize what Anastasia just mentioned with the fact that this is a AIYA, and the community is the place for everyone to connect and to understand. Our job is to connect. But sometimes, because you're a bureaucrat, you have certain ways in connecting, it gets boring. You know, it gets tedious, and you don't know what else to do. Nothing interesting anymore because you've done that, you do that, it's just not as interesting as you lot, everyone here. You are the linchpin, in my humble opinion, of the relation between Australia and Indonesia. Not only you're young, I was going to apply, but it's only for 18 to 35, right? So I'm so way off that number, so like twice that number, so I'm afraid I cannot join, but what we can do is support. And you're the linchpin because not only because you're young, but you're passionate, you're excited, you're interested in the subject, you're interested in various issues, you're very fluent in not just the language, but also social media. I mean, for me, my age, social media is something that you put on your on the side of your bed to put you to sleep, you know. Just listen to YouTube, but for you, you know how to put the value to the social media. You put the value of the event and organizing collaboration together. So I'm hoping that AIYA, the relaunching of AIYA, will be the start of more exciting event, more exciting connection, deeper connection and deeper understanding. Because I always believe, as government official, we always have good collaboration with the Australian government. G2G level, perfect. We have visit, we have partnership, all those things.
but grassroots level, those who's on the ground who actually really living it. You share your moment when you visit Indonesia or vice versa. That is where the country or communities are, the fabric of the communities are being sown. So the meaning of the relation between country is on their people, how their people connect, how their people talk to each other. So I'm really happy and really proud to be here, to listen to you, to listen to the panel later on, and I congratulate you with a very young, a lot of things that you have to do, very busy, but you still keep time to connect and to understand each other. So again, congratulations. Thank you very much for coming and good luck. Thank you.
Thank you for those words, Ibu, and thank you for that encouragement to IIWA. And to reiterate absolutely what you said, everyone here in this room and out there is a linchpin within that bilateral exchange that happens as much on the grassroots as it does in government. Okay, our second speaker for this evening, Magenta Marshall, MLA. Magenta is the newly elected member for Rockingham in the WA State Parliament following the retirement of Premier Mark McGowan in 2023. Prior to entering politics, Magenta completed a Bachelor of Arts also at Murdoch University, majoring in Asian Studies, Politics and International Relations, if I got that correct. And with minor in Indonesian, very important there. Don't forget. During her studies, Magenta spent a semester studying at Universitas Gadjah Mada in Indonesia and volunteering in her spare time teaching English at a local NGO for underprivileged students. And now in her new role, Magenta is eager to strengthen WA's relationships with our closest neighbours in Indonesia. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Magenta Marshall.
Thank you, Stephen, and selamat malam semuanya. I think it might be tough to follow Anastasia with her energy and Ibu Listi with her wisdom, but I will try my best. I too would like to acknowledge the Wajak Noongar people as the traditional custodians of this land and extend my respects to their elders past and present as well. As a former AIYA member and a Chichis alumni, I am delighted to join you tonight and for the relaunch of the WA branch of the AIYA, or Australian Indonesian Youth Association, and to be in a room with so many friendly faces and former teachers in Ibu Vicky down the back and Pak David, who started a Chichis. I'm very excited to support AIYA and to support Anastasia in any way that I can. So as our closest neighbour and ninth largest trading partner, Indonesia is an important partner and friend of WA, and the Western Australian State Government is committed to strengthening our relationship with Indonesia and in particular with our sister state of East Java. Western Australia's relationship with Indonesia is deeply rooted in history, geography and mutual interests. Historically, our close proximity, as Anastasia talked about before, has facilitated extensive trade and cultural exchanges dating back centuries to the days of maritime trading routes that crisscross the Indian Ocean. The ancient ties between the indigenous people of WA and Indonesia are still evident in the shared cultural practices and similar or linguistic similarities that we see and serve as a testament to the enduring nature of this relationship. But today, Western Australia and Indonesia are indispensable partners in trade and investment, with the economic interdependence between our two regions evident in the significant volumes of minerals, agricultural products and services that flow between us. And of course, the cultural exchange between our two countries continues to enrich our societies and foster a deeper understanding and appreciation of each other's traditions, languages and way of life. Our bilateral relationship has facilitated many opportunities for collaboration in human resource and social development, trade and investment, education, tourism, youth, culture and sports. But it's important that we continue to nurture and strengthen this relationship for the benefit of both nations. And to harness the full potential of this relationship, I believe we must prioritise the engagement of our youth. So I believe one of the most effective ways to strengthen our Australia-Indonesia relationship is to advance and culture among our youth. So all of you here tonight, thank you for being part of the journey and taking that first step or maybe one of many steps in your journey. As young Australians and already engaged members of AIYA, there are a number of ways for you to engage with Indonesia and foster these might talk through some of them now. So there are various organisations and initiatives that facilitate cultural exchange programs between Australia and Indonesia. These programs often include opportunities for young Australians or Indonesians, but to visit each other's country, to immerse themselves in the local culture and engage in language and other Indonesian or Australian youth through homestays, cultural activities and community service projects. As a former AIYA student, which was previously at Murdoch University, which is where I studied, and is now UWA, and was obviously started by Clark David. I cannot emphasise enough the importance of doing a cultural exchange or a student exchange in enhancing your language skills and also gaining a better understanding of our closest neighbours and building those connections and relationships. So the AIYA program offers a variety of student exchanges that are available for young Australians to take on different exchange opportunities abroad, and provides an invaluable opportunity for that cultural immersion, academic enrichment and cross-cultural exchange. It was while studying abroad at Universitas Gajah Mada in Yogyakarta that I did volunteer my spare time teaching English at that NGO. And that really, one, helped me with my bahasa, but also taught me that for so many, education isn't just about sitting in the classroom and learning lessons, but also that education can cultivate that sense of hope and open up further opportunities for a brighter future. So one of the most direct ways that you could engage from now with our closest neighbour is by learning Bahasa, the Indonesian language. And of course, you too could then be like Chris Hemsworth or Margot Robbie, so I think that might be a good motivator. There are many educational institutions that offer Indonesian language. I was lucky enough to be taught by Ibu Vicky at Tranby College from year 3, I think, to year 12. So I was a long time, but there are other opportunities. There's AIYA which is an online program. There's Balai Bahasa, many opportunities to enhance your language skills and talk with native speakers at whatever level you're at. It's been several years now since I did my exchange in Jogja, so unfortunately my Bahasa is kurang baik now, but I'll probably be back on AIYA or on Balai Bahasa classes soon. Another way to meaningfully engage in this space is through internship or volunteer opportunities with Australian organisations or companies that operate in Indonesia or vice versa. So whether it's participating in environmental conservation efforts, community development projects, humanitarian aid programs, or working in industry, there are many opportunities to gain those professional experience and foster connections with our Indonesian communities. And of course, we do live in the age of TikTok or Instagram, as Anastasia was talking about, and there are a variety of online communities and social media platforms that can help connect us, young Australians with our close Indonesian peers and give those opportunities for building that relationship and also strengthening your own understanding and language skills. So in any way you can, I really encourage you to to actively participate in any of the various opportunities that there are available to young Australians who want to engage with Indonesia. I'm really proud of our shared history, and I'm equally enthusiastic about the promising prospects that lie ahead for both regions. I believe that our youth represent the future of Western Australia and Indonesia's relationship, and that by promoting student and cultural exchanges, supporting mutual education and fostering the cross-cultural understanding, we can build a deeper and more meaningful partnership between our two nations and foster a generation of young leaders to take us forward. As young Australians and Indonesians, we are the future, and we need to work together on innovative and creative ideas that transcend borders and bridge these divides. Which is why it has been a big pleasure to join you tonight. I'd like to thank WAIA President Anastasia for inviting me, and VP IC for relaunching the AIYA chapter of, the WA branch of the AIYA. It's really important that we do the work now, whether it's scan QR code and rejoining or joining for the first time as an AIYA member. I know I have lapsed my membership and I still sneak into that age bracket, so I'll make sure to scan that after the formalities and become a member again. I don't think I'll take on a committee role, but I encourage other people to do that and to support IC and Anastasia, because it is a big commitment and more hands make work. So I think if we can all go away and do that, or if unfortunately you don't fall into the age criteria, perhaps it's following on Instagram, supporting at events like these. You've already taken the first step, and I hope to keep seeing you and building a relationship with you all as well. I'd like to thank you, Sienna, for hosting us, and all of you for your attendance and commitment and enthusiasm to strengthening the relationship between WA and Indonesia. I'm really looking forward to working with the new branch and with all of you to build a future for the next generation of leaders, a future that is characterised by mutual respect, understanding and cooperation between Western Australia and Indonesia. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih banyak. Thank you for that, Gentle Marshall. And to reiterate that although you have to be between ages 18 and 35 to be in the committee, you can be a member of AIYA at any age. Okay, so before we move on to what promises to be a very informative presentation by Cassie, followed by the Q&A, which will conclude our official proceedings, we are going to now cut the nasi tumpang. So if I could invite Ibu Gunjen University, Gentle Marshall and Anastasia to cut the tumpang. And I will also mention that the lovely nasi tumpang was provided by Gadget BE this evening. So terima kasih to Gadget BE. Okay, now I would like to invite Daisy to give us a presentation on some of the fine details of what AIYA is and our plan going forward. Thank you, Daisy.
Hello everyone, good evening. Thank you for coming to AIYA Relaunch. So before I start the presentation, just a little bit about me. I'm IC. I've been a part of AIYA since 2021. So I am a communication coordinator for AIYA National, and just recently this year elected as a vice president for AIYA. I'm very excited to share to you some insights about what is AIYA, because I know some of you might just heard about AIYA today, some of you might not be familiar with AIYA. So I just moved to Perth last year, so I've only been here a year. I'm very excited. So I have the same problem as Felicity. English is my second language, so if I make, I'm so sorry in advance if I make the grammatical mistakes. So hopefully after this presentation I can share some trying to achieve, and hopefully strengthen and deepen Australia-Indonesia connection through youth engagement. So afterwards, there's a saying in Indonesia, tak kenal maka tak sayang, which translates to, you can't love what you don't know. So hopefully after this presentation, you can know a bit more about AIYA, grow some love, become a member, and also apply to be a committee. So, AIYA, Australia-Indonesia Youth Organization, is a non-profit organization that was formed in 2011 in Canberra by past Chichi's student exchange. So they just came back after they did their student exchange, and they want to continue and expand the youth Australia-Indonesia space in Australia. So that's why they created this community, AIYA. And since then, we have grown to 13 chapters. So we have 8 chapters in Australia. So that is 1 chapter in every state, and 5 in Indonesia. So it's in Jakarta, South Sulawesi, East Nusa Tenggara, Yogyakarta, and West Java. And we are also a continually growing community. We have 600 active members, and hopefully after this relaunch it would be more. Next. Thank you. So our vision is a stronger Australia-Indonesia relationship by advancing education and culture through increased youth engagement. So if you ever come to an AIYA event and see our banner, usually they would always have Connect, Inform, Inspire, and that is our mission. So first of all, to connect young Indonesian and Australians to each other through educational or cultural professional opportunities. And second, to inform about avenues to engage with Australia and Indonesian youth to enhance young people's understanding of each other's culture. And the third one is to inspire youth, organization, business to facilitate youth engagement between the 2 countries. So we also have partners and affiliates. So these are just the organizations that have been supporting us and have supported us in the past, and hopefully we would make some new collaboration and partnerships. We are very excited about that. Yeah, there's a new domain. I know you guys are very familiar with that. I also am familiar with that. I ate it probably every week. So, if you guys are wondering, what is it that AIYA does? So, a lot of AIYA events are socio-cultural networking. So, usually AIYA chapters that would make an event. These are just some photos that we took from the website. So, usually AIYA chapter would make an event, for example, a dance class, a gamelan class, and also we have a language exchange, language exchange program called Flex that is usually held weekly or fortnightly. That we usually discuss a range of topics from Indonesian food, Australian culture, movie, books together. So hopefully for the next language exchange, I would see some of you as well there supporting AIYA. Next. So yeah, we are having a gamelan classes there. Last year there's a salmon dance class and Aksara Jawa class. So I also hosted some professional events, for example, a career night or a lot of seminars. So now we move to AIYA. So AIYA is founded in 2012, but unfortunately, because of the pandemic, it became inactive. But fortunately, this year we have a committee. Even though now it's only the 3 of us, and hopefully after this relaunch, we can make a full committee. But we are very fortunate that Kajeri also supported us to have this event. And if you're wondering what is a chapter role, it's to grow the Australia-Indonesia youth community through events and collaborations, usually in the area or in the state. we report to AIYA National, or board of directors that operates under the Constitution, so they also monitor and support us. And AIYA vision is to be the flagship youth Australia-Indonesia bilateral in Western Australia. So, because our community is new, we just made this roadmap. So hopefully we can do everything that is in here. First of all, we want to build a community database for regular communication, because we think that communication are very, very important to open new doors for collaborations and partnerships. So hopefully we can maintain a regular communications with our partners. And we also want to have formatter events, for example, like a collaborative sporting events such as badminton. We also want to have Australia-Indonesia quiz night or trivia nights. We also want to host some dance class. Hopefully we can make it happen, all of them this year. Next one, we will have a regular social outing, so mini gathering, maybe no bar, watching movies together, a book club, and we also want to market membership. And we have been doing that, I think, today, if you guys haven't noticed yet. And apply for grants or funding. And we also want to increase our social media presence. So, if you guys want to support us and want to become a member, you can become a member even though you're not 18 or 35. So 35, you can still be a member and support us. You can also just go to our website, and as a member you would get a newsletter, blog updates, and a lot of information about opportunities in Australia and Indonesia. Thank you guys so much for listening, and thank you for coming once again.
Okay, terima kasih Azzy for telling us more about AIYA and how it operates. And speaking of social media, Anton requested mentioned don't forget to follow Kajari on YouTube and also AIYA on Instagram. Okay, so our final official segment this evening will be quick panel discussion Q&A. So for that I would like to invite up Anastasia, Azzy, and Kevin and Fiona, who are former presidents of AIYA. If you could come to the front, please. Terima kasih.
Would you like to ask the question?
Thank you, Franz. That's why I had to pay for it. I didn't use it anyway. Okay, so a couple of prompts before we go into the main questions. So I have here wonderfully supplied by our president. Do you have to be Indonesian or Australian to be a member of AIYA?
Thank you for that. That is a great example of community and connection. Short answer is no. So a lot of people ask if this organisation is an Indian organisation, if it's an Australian organisation. It really depends on each chapter. So the NDD chapter, I think, purely consists of Indonesian. They meet quite often to practice their English. Just from memory, I believe that Queensland is majority Indonesian, however South Australia and Victoria is majority Australian. So you don't have to be either or, you can be an international student of a different country. The main point is we want you to contribute within the Australian and Indonesian bilateral space.
Okay, thank you. And follow up to that, how does exactly, thank you, AIYA fund its operations?
So we fund our operations mainly through memberships as well as grants. We've previously been funded by DFAT as well as the Australian government. So that's why we've been pushing membership very much so. The other ways are also through events, ticketed events, And if anybody would like to sponsor us here in the audience, we would gladly accept that too.
We won't refuse.
Okay. And what events do we have planned?
Sorry, I feel like I'm doing it I am so sorry. I will shut up after this. So as IC has lovely has thoughtfully presented, we are hoping to have 4 main events this year, including this one. We are starting small, so we do have to be realistic in terms of what we can achieve. So the 3 other events that we're hoping to do is potentially an Australia-Indonesia tribute night, a dance class, and a sports one. So whether that's footy or badminton or soccer, just something to bring people together. And we, as IC said about the monthly events as well. Did you maybe want to talk about a little bit about the language exchanges that people do?
Yeah, so for the language exchanges events, usually other chapters they're doing it either weekly or fortnightly. So we still have to figure out how we are going to do it because some chapters are doing it online and because it was started during the pandemic and now everyone I think doing it in person, so we have to figure out about that. But essentially everyone can come to a language exchange. You don't have to be an AIYA member. You don't have to be a committee, and essentially we are going to select a topic every meeting. It could be about books or about food, and then we will try to learn the Indonesian saying about it or learn Australian saying about it, and yeah, that's pretty much it about our language exchange events.
Kevin, do you want to talk about your previous language exchange or events experiences, maybe?
Can I speak in Indonesian? Yes.
You can say that. I feel like perhaps we should introduce ourselves first.
Although I know a lot of people in the room, which is not. Hi everyone. I'm Fiona Palmer, although a lot of people probably know me by my maiden name, Fiona Westward. I've been involved in AIYA for a very long time. I'm feeling really nostalgic tonight because I was actually on the founding committee of AIYA. Yes, wish them every success with the relaunch. And I've been involved in AIYA for quite a long time. I'm kind of dipped in and out a little bit and have worked. We were joking at the back, oh, stood up pins you. But I will be the number one supporter, absolutely. And so I've been involved in AIYA for quite a long time and have worked a lot with Kevin as well. Kevin, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure, my name is Kevin. I joined AIYA since 6 years ago, I think, when I was a student, and then till now. It's really a great experience for me as an Indonesian because like at that time I don't have anyone. I just come here as an Indonesian and I have found a community that understands being an Indonesian and also understand the culture of Australia. So I found a lot of good friends actually from AIYA, like Fiona herself, and she was in happy ones in AIYA. So it's been a great pleasure to be AIYA member.
Yeah, very much, and it's been a lot of fun. When I think of AIYA, I think it's been we've had a lot of fun, a lot of good times, and a lot of friendships that have formed from that. The events. Just chat on that. Language exchange events. We used to hold language exchange events pretty regularly. I'd recommend to the new community maybe aim for monthly to start with. Don't try to sorry, this is dropping out. Do something too frequently that you can't maintain. I know we've had some struggles with that before.
So what were they like? Were they like, you guys would come together and practice Indonesian, or what was it?
Sure, like pretty sure we're just talking Indonesian and Australian, just talking about anything. Sometimes we pick a topic, so it's not like we have a topic to discuss and like after that we just chill. They won't be really it's fun, because like that's the importance of a relationship between two countries, human to human connections. That's very important. Sorry.
Hello. Ooh, okay, that's now on. So it's an excuse to meet and eat.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's like it's pretty chill, just like hanging out and 基本的なコネクションです。Yeah.
For that.
That was the last of my prompts. But if we have any questions from the floor, please put your hand up and we've got a microphone that will run over to you. So do we have any questions from the floor or else from our Instagram live that you would like to throw to the panel? No question is a bad question.
I have a question.
Yes, here is.
Can I?
You have the microphone. Here is.
Thank you, Caroline, you're nice to see you again here. I was just wondering, you mentioned about language and you emphasize your language on top of the need to eat. That's very good. But I was wondering, because we have teachers as well here around us, perhaps some of the member or the one of the program of AIYA can also be reaching out to students learning Bahasa Indonesia. I'm sure some of the teachers in the schools here are very happy to assist or perhaps give you an idea of what we can do together. For your information, the Indonesian consulate also organizes what we call Indonesia Goes to School. We invite schools from Bahasa Indonesia to come here to visit the consulate, learn our gamelan, our angklung, play with them, even cook. But also we also visit them, and if that's something that you can collaborate together, that would be great.
Thank you. Just to add to that, so I recently had a meeting with the other presidents across Australia, and they had a lot of great ideas in terms of Indonesian language. So for example, one of the things that South Australia does is pair up with AIYA and have a buddy system. So they would pair up an Indonesian student with an Australian so that they could get used to Australian culture, and then the Australians speak Indonesian. Another thing that they did as well is go to university. So I think gradually it goes to school with more younger students potentially. Yeah, so they would pair with universities and have buddies as well. So that's definitely something we definitely want to look into. Another thing that came across, again, it's all ideas, but whether or not we have people, so please apply to get this done. Another thing that came across was potentially doing talks or lectures. I met a lovely academic at Medoc who was very, very knowledgeable about Marantau, which is a concept for some people who don't know. It's a concept of leaving your hometown and going overseas to study or work, and just comparing that with potentially things like a gap year, which is very common in Australia, and how that's different and similar. So those cross-cultural connections as well.
My name is Ross, just on a slightly more serious note, very quickly, hi Fiona. Oh, mate from Motorhead. Just from Robbie Jasper at the Indonesian Institute, once you get established, we'd love to sit down and get AIYA on board with our ongoing and never-ending campaign to try and make it easier for Indonesian, particularly Indonesian young people, to come down here and holiday and work. Our government, our federal government, and this is an issue too, again, that the West Australian government really support us on, because it's not helping our inbound tourism. And when President Jacoby was here at the last visit, our Prime Minister promised him that, quote, I will do something to make it easier for Indonesian people to come here. And then 8 weeks later, they increased the visa fees by 35%. So now, if you're a young Indonesian and you want to come down for a holiday, it's $195 just to apply. A lot of you would know, I think it's about 16 pages of questions. And really, if we are serious about bringing people-to-people relations going, we have to access the 105 million people in Indonesia under 35, and we need to build the relationship. So I just want to make that point, and that would be really lovely to work with you, because we really need to do something about that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And to hopefully not just have a personal conversation with yourself with 60 other people watching. One of the things that I was actually thinking about
this week, and was that I realised that because as a mature age student, and being a mature age student at university is actually so common, but some of the Indonesians correct me please, but is it true that as an undergraduate you have to be a certain age in Indonesia? Yeah. No? Or is it not common for people to go? Yeah, so I don't know if this is potentially a gap in the market where I know that most of the scholarships and Indonesian students here are doing the Masters or postgraduate, so potentially there is a market for undergraduate students who can't potentially afford to come to Australia and then come here as well and then learn that culture and bring that back. So, and they could potentially be teachers because I know we are very short on Indonesian teachers as well. So, yeah, just a thought level.
Oh, we've got one from Bal.
So if no one is asking a silly question, I'll ask a silly question. So I have two questions actually, and it's for Fiona and for Kevin. My first question is, perhaps is there any activities that you can share to the new elected members on collaboration between chapters on AIYA and perhaps in Melbourne, Adelaide? Do you have any in Adelaide, perhaps, or in Canberra that you can do a joint program together with AIYA every day? And the second silly question is that, is there any added value that you experience of having after you join AIYA? Perhaps you have more vocabulary of slang word in Indonesia, or perhaps you have any other words that nobody else can understand while you're speaking with each other. Thank you so much.
Kevin, I'll take the first one and you can answer the second one. In my time with AIYA, we've had limited collaboration with chapters across other states. However, one thing that I would really strongly recommend to the new community is collaborating with other organisations in Perth, a lot of whom are in the room as well. We have several examples of where we've done that very successfully through events, collaboration with Indonesia Institute, Balai Bahasa, Perth West Asia Centre, just to mention a couple, but I'm sure there are a lot more. Our community here is relatively small. A lot of us are here in the room, so it's really important that we work together and build on each other's strengths as well. So strongly recommend that. And also, you kind of double your audience as well for events, which is really, really helpful when you're, especially when you're relaunching.
I think we did once with AIYA National during pandemic as well.
Yes,
yeah.
You're right.
So it's possible.
With AIYA National, that was online about the pandemic, and we had Kevin speaking with his experiences. Is this what you're talking about? Yeah, your experience being an Indonesian student living in Perth during the pandemic, and the AIYA National president at that point in time was living in Jakarta, which was an Australian, so we had people sharing their experiences, online event, collaboration. Yeah. Second question to Kevin.
So, slang words. We did learn a lot about slang words like Indonesians, I think Australians speak familiar with slang words like Santuy, Sabi, and all that. That's all new slang words, but for Indonesians speak difficult for us, maybe just bullies and all that, but we don't really deep dive into that, but we did learn a lot and practice a lot because most of our members previously was Australian living in Indonesia as well, like PhD members and PhD students. So they can speak fluently in Indonesian and also like Jawa Kromo, they can speak that language. So it's, I'm quite surprised they can speak that language. Yeah, so for Indonesians, we practice a lot speaking English because sometimes we talk a lot in Indonesia with our Indonesian friends, not being fluent. So that's a real Australian experience for us.
Okay, do we have time for two more questions? Any from the floor? Any? We do. It was very similar to the one that Anton asked. So it was from Andali, and it was, how does AIYA want to work with other Indonesia-focused organisations in WA? Do you have any more thoughts that you want to add on to that, or cover all bases there?
Hello. We pretty much already covered that, but just I guess as a closing note is that we would love to work with anyone and any organisation, please. We are very, very open to collaboration, so we look forward to working with you guys in the room. Thank you.
Okay. Is there any final questions? Okay, well, thank you very much to the panelists. If I could ask you to please make your way to your seats, I believe that finishes our final segment of So I have my notes and I have to keep on track on this. So the thanks tonight for our volunteers from AIYA, so Melly and Daya on the signing desk tonight. Our panelists, Izzy, Fiona, Kevin and Anna. KJPI, I'm still getting my pronunciations right, for the nasi tumpang. Terima kasih. I would of course like to reiterate my thanks to James Marshall in LA and Ibu Gonjen Lisi for giving us their of delivering keynote speakers this evening. Thank you. Also, again, thanks to all the representatives tonight and to all of you for coming. In particular, I would like to thank Anton and all the KJPI staff who helped to put on this fantastic event tonight. Thank you to all of you. And final thanks to our fantastic president of AIYA and Now, to wrap up our official segments for this evening, I would like to ask up all of the AIYA team. Yeah, up the front for the photos, so Magenta Marshall as well, Ibu Gonjen. Perfect. All right. And we also have a gift for our keynote speakers. And could Kevin, Fiona, and Izzy also join us up front, please?
Thank you everybody. For those who can stay here, please, we've got plenty of food provided by KJRE, so please stay back with us, eat, meet new friends, and thank you all for joining us. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.